Okay, let's talk about the drill press. Okay, parts of the drill press. This is a pretty common tool. A lot of people have drill presses. I'm sure a few of you have a drill press in your garage. Common in woodworking and metalworking. Parts of the drill press. We have our table here. On our table we have a couple slots for mounting a clamp, which is really handy. And this particular drill press has a fence that hooks into those slots. Okay, so on our table we have those two things. The table itself, we can raise and lower with this crank here. Depending on what bit we have in there, we may need to lower or raise the table. The table also tilts both ways. So if I needed to drill a hole on a 40-degree angle, I could tip the table to 40 degrees and then clamp my board in place and drill the hole. Over here on the side, we have a feed lever, raises and lowers the chuck. The chuck is this right here. The chuck holds the bit. Now this particular drill press is a keyless chuck. So the older style of drill presses would have what was called a chuck key. It's a little wrench that you stick in the chuck and you crank the bit tight, or you can loosen it with the chuck key. Newer drill presses are going to a chuckless key. So to change the bit on this, you just grab it, twist it, it loosens the chuck. You can swap out the bit, and then to tighten it, you just do the same thing and tighten it up. Kind of like a cordless drill. It's the same kind of chuck, which is nice because of the older style. Sometimes you forget to take the key out. You turn on the drill press, it comes flying out at you. So that removes that hazard. Okay, and then on the front of the machine here, on the front of the drill press, we have our on-off switch. This one also has a light and a laser that will line up where you're going to drill. And then it has a digital readout of how fast the bit is spinning in RPMs. Okay, let's go ahead and drill a hole. We're going to bring our board up here. We're going to line up where we want to drill the hole, wherever that might be. And it's always a good idea to clamp your board in place. That's what I like about this drill press, having these slots. It works really well with these clamps. We can clamp our board in place so it's not going to move around on us. Okay? When that drill press or when that drill bit goes through our board, it's going to want to spin it. So if we don't have it clamped in place or we're not holding it tight, kind of like the spindle sander, it's going to want to grab that board and spin it. So always clamp it in place or hold it tightly. Okay, let's turn this on. We're going to let this get up to speed. So we can go ahead and use our feed lever to drill our hole through our board. Pretty simple. Again, using a clamp, we can get our hands out of the way. We can just be back here using the feed lever to drill our hole. Okay, advantages of the drill press. If you need to drill a hole that's exactly 90 degrees, or like we talked about, if you need to tilt the table, if you need it to be precise, the drill press is a good tool to use. If you just need a hole, just a pilot hole, and it doesn't matter if it's straight, I'll just put a bit in a cordless drill and you can drill a hole. Okay, but if we need it straight up and down in the exact place we want to drill, this is a good way to go. Okay, safety. You've already hit on the clamp. Clamp your board in place. You shouldn't be drilling small things. If you're holding a little chunk of wood in here trying to drill it, obviously your hands are way too close to the drill bit. I don't think anybody's going to drill their hand like this. You never know. I don't think that's going to be a problem. But the drill press is kind of infamous for grabbing things. So again, it's a spinning tool. We want to make sure our hair is pulled back. We want to make sure all loose items are out of the way, lanyards are off. We don't want the bit or the chuck to grab anything and wrap it up and pull us in. Drill press is kind of infamous for pulling hair off of people's heads. Don't want to get your hair caught in that. Again, it'll be pulled back. Okay, and the last thing we need to talk about is speed, drill bit speed. Okay, on this one we do have a digital readout that tells us how fast the bits are spinning. And I'm just going to give you a general rule of thumb for speed of drill bits. Small bits, 1/2 inch and under. Typically you spin those faster, right? You'll have higher RPMs. So around 1,000 is fine. Bigger bits, if you're trying to drill a 3-inch hole or a 2-inch hole, kind of makes sense that you would want to slow that way down. You don't want to whip a big bit at 1,000 RPMs. Okay? So if you'll remember that. Smaller bits, faster, like 1,000. Bigger bits, like 2 or 3 inch bits, you want to slow that way down to 300 or slower. And to adjust the speed, you turn the drill press on, and over here on the side, so it'll tell us how fast we're going right now. Looks like we're at about 900, almost 1,000. There's a wheel over here on the side that we can turn and slow down the speed, or we can turn it and increase the speed. So right now I'm at 1,300, 1,400.